What's up, YouTube? My name is Jason, and this is my take. And I'm back with another video, and today we're gonna be talking about the new Big K.R.I.T album, Digital Roses, Don't Die. We have a new album from Mississippi rapper Big K.R.I.T. Now, K.R.I.T has been in the game for a while, and in the early 2010s is when he blew up. After signing with Def Jam, he dropped many projects that include Live from the Underground and Cadillactica. But despite the talent that K.R.I.T had and the many projects that he dropped, he still wasn't able to break into the mainstream and be that name that people always talk about. And so he decides to leave Def Jam and become an independent artist. And after doing that and starting up his own thing, Multi-Alumni, in 2017, he dropped what, in my opinion, is easily his best project, and that is Forever Is a Mighty Long Time. I love this album so much, man. Like, oh my goodness. It's a double album that sees K.R.I.T in his trap bag and his soul bag, delivering some of his most memorable tracks, amazing lyricism. This project was filled with just so much character, energy, and introspection. Following this was 2019's K.R.I.T Is Here, which plays off of one of his classic mixtapes, K.R.I.T Was Here, which unfortunately was a huge step down in my opinion. On this album, it was clear that K.R.I.T was really going for a mainstream sound and really trying to break into that lane. But overall, it turned into a project that felt more formulaic than authentic. So look, going into this new album over here, I was just excited to see what K.R.I.T was going to be doing. But a little nervous, was he still trying, for that appeal, that mainstream sound, or are we gonna get, more of what we love and know from Big K.R.I.T? And we still got something different here, something I wasn't expecting, and overall it was okay. Now, on these 13 tracks, K.R.I.T is very much more in a soulful type of vibe here, doing a lot more singing over a lot more like R&B soul type of production. Of course, with a lot of hip hop infusion in there as well. This is still a rap album technically, but a very different sound from K.R.I.T. And within these 17 tracks are 4 interludes, the fire, wind, air, and water interludes that are sprinkled within as well to kind of break it up in this sort of theme that he has with these different elements. And I'll get into that later and how I felt about it. But first, let's just dive into the highlights on this album. I love the background vocals on the intro track, Southside of the Moon. I really rocked with K.R.I.T's rapping and his singing on this one over this more trap-like beat. The song Rhode Clean really felt like a dirty South laid back type of track. And I love Big K.R.I.T's performance on here. And one thing that really stuck out to me, like it did on other songs with the background vocalists on this track, they were absolutely amazing. I think K.R.I.T's best singing performance on this album might have been on the song Just For You. Also really loved the hard bass line on this track as well. The live instrumentation on the song So Cool was so memorable for me. The hook is also stuck in my head along with that great saxophone performance in the background. I also very much enjoyed the song Would It Matter. I love K.R.I.T's flow and his breath control on this track, along with yet another great performance by the backup vocalist on this one. Another highlight for me was the song Wet Lashes and Shot Glasses that features Rolynné. And I've never heard of Rolynné, or sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but she delivered a very memorable vocal performance on here. And singing alongside Big K.R.I.T, I feel like both of them had very good chemistry together. Now, those highlights included very solid performances, especially on the singing side by Big K.R.I.T, but there were also a handful of very odd, underwhelming, and just tracks where K.R.I.T's performances were just not up to par. First being the song Show You Right, and this was a very odd track. Like, it really threw me off, I can't lie. And I like the funk, I like the funk type of sound, but Big K.R.I.T on this one just didn't sound like he fit. Come Out to Play is another one. On this song, like, I really enjoyed the instrumentation and what was going on from a sound perspective, but the song kind of felt empty once lyrics came into play. For the most part, it was just the background vocalist repeating "come out to play." And it just really felt like a long, strung out interlude, and I really wanted a lot more out of it. One of the biggest disappointments on here might have been the song "Boring." And I think the song title very accurately describes this song. The biggest thing for me was Big K.R.I.T singing, and I think it ruined a kind of an interesting concept or topic, and just talking about how even a person who provides so much still can be a boring person, still could not bring a lot to a relationship. You can pay the rent, you can provide all these different things for a significant other, but if that spark isn't there, if that fun isn't there, it doesn't matter. And I thought that was kind of cool, just how he was talking about it, but just the delivery of it all just fell flat in my opinion. Another disappointment being the outro, More Than Roses, and it really stuck out to me because as of late, K.R.I.T's had some very memorable outros, from Bury Me in Gold on Forever Is a Mighty Long Time to even Mississippi on an underwhelming K.R.I.T Is Here. And this one really was a boring, flat outro. And it just felt like a bland, just normal bland track that was just there in the track list. Coming off of Wet Lashes and Shot Glasses, as well as All the Time, there was momentum going into this final song, and I just felt like K.R.I.T didn't deliver. So look, when it comes to this album over here by Big K.R.I.T, I feel like there was some memorable moments, there was some nice spots, but just as a whole, this album didn't come together. And going back to what I was mentioning about the interludes, I can see how this was breaking up the album and the different styles or the energy coming off of them. But the interludes, they kind of threw off the album, and they threw off some momentum. There will always be 2 or 3 tracks solid going into these interludes, and then right after the interlude would come a song that threw it off or just wasn't good. Like I think Come to Play came off of an interlude. Boring came off of an interlude as well. Like it just that stop right there to, go into these like poetic interludes just really threw it off. And usually interludes or albums that have a good amount of interludes, they usually don't do that. So it definitely felt weird on this one. There were some misses from a singing perspective, from a production perspective, as well as sequencing, like I mentioned with the interludes. But honestly, I wouldn't be mad if K.R.I.T kept exploring this side of things. This didn't really feel like a mainstream attempt. I feel like K.R.I.T can deliver from a singing perspective, and I would be interested to see if he wants to continue down this path or not. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But I'm gonna give this album a 5.5 out of 10. What were you guys' thoughts on this new Big K.R.I.T album? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What were your favorite tracks? Let's have a discussion down in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. Got another video coming for you tomorrow. Please like and subscribe to the channel. I'm Jason. This has been my take, and I'll see you next time.